Welcome back. A mobile home in Ellenton is a complete loss following a fire yesterday afternoon.
Crews had to use water from their fire engines and a tanker because there were no hydrants close by, which raises the question, can firefighters keep up with the fast-growing portion of Manatee County? ABC 7's Rick Adams shows us their strategy.
Well, the mobile home fire at this development in Ellenton does raise a couple of questions. Fire officials say they can handle any fire at any location. The North River Fire District handles thousands of calls every year. Some of them are fire calls, and some of them are in pretty remote locations in eastern Manatee County, where the fire hydrants are at times very far apart. A fire Thursday in Ellenton, which destroyed a mobile home, was an example of how they fight fires where a hydrant may not be available or easily accessible.
We generally have enough water on a truck to be able to do what we need to do, or we have tankers that will bring water to that facility to make sure that we have enough water to fight the fire.
At Colony Cove, fire officials say the hydrants are spread out where it was easier to use the thousands of gallons of water from the engines in a tanker that was brought in. William Owens is a Colony Cove resident whose daughter is taking in one of the victims of the fire. Fortunately, no one was injured.
I believe they did a great job myself, because when they pulled it up, I understand it was fully involved when they got here.
Battalion Chief Cluley says when a call comes in, they know if there are hydrants available at the location and if they will need to use water from additional engines and tankers to fight a fire. As Manatee County continues to grow, so too does the access to more hydrants.
That would be done during the site development stage, and the county would come in and say, you know, we need this size hydrant. Or water mains or whatever to be able to facilitate that, to be able to give you the fire flows that you need.
As for this mobile home fire here at the Colony Cove development, investigators are still trying to figure out exactly what happened. Reporting from Ellenton, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Rick, thank you. Some mixed news about disciplinary actions in Manatee County. Out-of-school suspensions in schools are on the decline, but there has been a slight increase in referrals and in-school suspensions. School district officials say there are a number of minor offenses that have contributed to the increase of middle school and high school referrals.
Our attendance violations, tardies, dress code violations, and cell phone violations are the primary drivers of the increase in referral data that we're seeing. And those represent 49% of all referrals.
The district is looking for solutions to address minor discipline issues.
Sarasota County could be close to a new agreement with Airbnb on how to best collect tourist development taxes. The county wants to collect the local tourist development tax on overnight accommodations listed through the website. The potential voluntary collection agreement would outline how the company would collect, record, and pay those taxes on overnight stays within the county. Sarasota County is suggesting that it follows the same guidelines that Hillsborough County currently uses to collect taxes from Airbnb. The commission would have to approve any agreement before it takes effect.
The idea of banning plastic bags in Venice is being considered once again. Last year, Venice's mayor brought the idea to the city council, but there wasn't much support for it. Now it seems the support may be coming around. First, the city is drafting a resolution to the state to request the ability to ban the use of plastic bags.
There are many good reasons to consider their use. There are many good reasons to consider not using them and using a more environmentally friendly material for that use. But it's probably a subject that's worthy of some more discussion and debate.
A local grocery store representative spoke to the city council and told them banning plastic bags could be more expensive for stores in the long run.
Some waterways in Venice are much cleaner and safer tonight. Earlier this week, the Venice Police Department's Marine Unit removed 2 derelict boats. Officers also worked with Sarasota County Parks and Waterway Management and Public Works to remove more than 400 pounds of anchors, chains, lines, and a motor from the water. Trash in the water affects the health of people and wildlife.
There's probably more down there than we realize.
I'm sure
right?
there is.
Yeah.
It's scary to think about that.
All right, Bob with the night off. Josh Stone in for him tonight. Hi, Josh.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you on this Friday evening. And this is our Lakewood Ranch webcam. We had alto stratus clouds come in. These are mid-level flat-looking clouds, and that's what we basically saw throughout the day. And now we are calling for mostly cloudy skies through this evening and into tomorrow as well, especially in the afternoon. 61 is our current temperature right now. Dew point sitting at 41, and the dew point is low. Now, to the north, dew points are lower than this, but there's just just tells us the measure of the amount of moisture there is in the atmosphere, and there's not a lot as things are really drying out behind this front. Had a few isolated showers that came in from the Gulf of Mexico, but the radar remains very quiet. This picture changes as we get into tomorrow night and into Sunday, which of course we'll talk about in the main weathercast. But as far as our lows tonight, going to be chilly, dropping down to low 50s and upper 40s. Back to you.
All right, Josh, thank you. Now to a shocking case of elder abuse caught on camera. The former caregiver of a 94-year-old Texas woman has been arrested.
We must warn you, the video is disturbing. ABC's Kenneth Moten reports from Los Angeles.
Pick up that thing from
the home surveillance video infuriating. The actions of this caregiver despicable. Police outside of Houston say Brenda Floyd is the person seen on New Year's Day repeatedly hitting 94-year-old Dorothy Bratton in the head. Investigators say Floyd was upset with the elderly woman who suffers from dementia for giving her dog, quote, human food.
I said, why do you feed that dog human food? Why do you keep feeding the dog human food? I didn't do it. Shut the up. Yes, you did.
Police say Floyd worked for the family for 3 years. Bratton's son spotted bruises on her, so he set up a camera.
Within 24 hours of installing it, they came across the video footage.
Floyd was later captured and arrested. The American Psychological Association says every year an estimated 4 million older Americans are victims of abuse and neglect, but many cases go unreported. Most incidents happen in the home at the hands of caregivers or family members, and the abuse can happen to anyone.
The elder abuse happened to me, Mickey Rooney.
Just 3 years before his 2014 death, legendary actor Mickey Rooney told Congress he was a victim.
You feel scared. Even when I tried to speak up, I was told to shut up.
Rooney wanted to put a national spotlight on elder abuse. That former Texas caregiver has been charged with assault. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A federal judge in Tallahassee hears arguments on an abortion law. It's being challenged by members of the clergy and abortion rights proponents who contend the statute infringes on their First Amendment right to freedom of speech. In a sometimes contentious hearing, the judge repeatedly challenged a lawyer from Attorney General Pam Bondi's office. Plaintiffs are asking the judge to block enforcement of the law, which went into effect earlier this month. It requires anyone who counsels women about abortions to provide an explanation about the procedure, including alternatives, before making referrals or assisting in obtaining abortions. An Orlando reverend says the law is an invasion of privacy.
It's attempting to require by Big Brother, the state, certain speech that we have to make in that setting, and that's unacceptable. That is not the way one does pastoral counseling.
The judge had already blocked other provisions of the law before the American Civil Liberties Union of Florida filed this lawsuit.
Governor Rick Scott is announcing his annual budget recommendations next week. Scott plans to release details of his spending plan on Tuesday during the annual legislative planning session. The legislature will then consider Scott's request during its session that starts in March. Scott has already announced he wants to slash taxes by $618 million this year. Legislators usually use the governor's budget recommendations as a starting point.
Some Baltimore Orioles fans are getting a chance to live out their dreams on the field. The Orioles Dream Week taking place in Sarasota this week. It's a chance for fans to play alongside Oriole legends like Jim Palmer and Mike Boddicker. The fans spend a full week going to workout sessions, doing drills, and working with their favorite players. Those attending say it's something every baseball fan should do at least once in their lifetime.
I just love the Orioles, and I love it meeting all the players, the former players that I grew up with and I idolize. And now I get to play with them as my coaches, and it's been a great time.
Current Orioles players are packed and will be ready to be on the Suncoast soon. And this Dream Week, by the way, ends up tomorrow. And now to the Orioles. They are all packed up and heading here because spring training is right around the corner. The Orioles had their annual loading day yesterday. The team loaded up its equipment, bats, balls, and gloves, and they will be traveling to Sarasota in the next few days. That's where they'll unload their gear on Monday at Ed Smith Stadium and the training complex there. Pitchers and catchers report on February 13th, and the first full squad workout is scheduled for February 17th.
Can't wait.
I know. Still to come in your Suncoast News, some good news from the American Heart Association. Americans could be getting healthier.
What we should continue to do and not do to keep up this trend when we return.
Come out to the best party of the season, the Goodwill Mardi Gras Gala on February 28th at Michael's on E. Tickets at experiencegoodwill.org.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Get the new year off to a great start with safety and peace of mind. Subaru was named the 2016 Best Overall Brand, Most Trusted, and Best Performance Brand by Kelley Blue Book. And ALG named Subaru its top mainstream brand for residual value for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Ideologue. I am an originalist.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
In town? On the town, The Mark offers landmark living in the center of everything you love about Sarasota. Priced from the 700s, spacious residences and elevated club-level amenities create a private oasis in the sky. Promenade shopping and dining put the best of downtown downstairs. Sales gallery open daily at the corner of Pineapple and State Street just south of Main. The Mark, Sarasota. Presented by Coulter.
America's top heart doctors are providing an update on the state of the nation's heart health. And it turns out the news isn't all bad. ABC News senior medical contributor Dr. Timothy Johnson explains.
We know what we ought to do: exercise, quit smoking, and eat a healthy diet. All good for our hearts. And now an update from the American Heart Association suggests that Americans may actually be listening, at least with one ear. Among the hopeful signs, more Americans appear to be meeting recommendations for physical activity. More than 1 in 5 now getting adequate levels of aerobic and muscle strengthening activity. The new report also hints that the American diet is getting healthier. But the update also notes a higher number of Americans with heart failure. 6.5 million Americans with this condition at last count. And more than 90 million Americans are currently living with some form of cardiovascular disease. So, to avoid being in that group, follow the path to a healthier heart at your dinner table, with a walk around the block, and by kicking the smoking habit. With this Medical Minute, I'm Dr. Timothy Johnson.
A great weekend, Josh, to get out there and do some physical activity with these cooler temperatures.
Yeah, but then the rain comes in the second half of the weekend. We'll talk about it in just a second. But for tonight, it is a little bit cool outside. 61 degrees in Sarasota, 63 in Venice, 66 in Northport. A little bit warmer here in Sebring and Lake Placid, 69 degrees over in Lake Placid right now. Now, we have these northwesterly winds, and they're breezy. It's going to be breezy tonight, and these winds are helping to transport that cooler air from the north down into our area. Anywhere from 10 to 14 miles per hour here in Anna Maria Island, slipping southward. The sustained winds is 17 miles per hour over here in Boca Grande. So a little breezy tonight, a little chilly, as temperatures will be falling throughout the overnight hours. We'll show you how low they'll get in just a second. But our high today topped out at 68 degrees. Average is 71 for this time of the year. Really not near the high that was set back, the record high that was set back in 1984. We hit a high of 84 this date several years ago. Rainfall, nothing to show you here, so we are just over 3/4 of an inch below where we should be. But I think with the rain coming in this weekend, that should aid to catching up as far as the deficit with the rainfall. We had some very isolated showers that tracked in from the Gulf of Mexico earlier today. They're starting to fizzle out here in northern Charlotte County. Really, this is just maybe a drizzle, if that. But everywhere else, very quiet, so the radar remains quiet, and that's going to be the case throughout the overnight tonight and for half of the day tomorrow, because by later tomorrow night, well, at least starting in the afternoon, the clouds will be on the increase, and then later tomorrow night into Sunday, we have all this green here on the Futurecast, and this is an area of low pressure that's going to develop in the Gulf of Mexico, at least the western Gulf, and then slowly move our direction. Doesn't have the dynamics to bring us severe weather like we saw last Sunday, but we will have widespread showers around the Sun Coast, maybe totaling up to 1/4 of an inch to possibly 3/4 of an inch by the time this moves out on Monday. So that's good news for rainfall for our area, but it's going to be chilly, kind of a raw weekend, especially on Sundays. Snow showers taking place up here in the Northeast. Showers here in Texas, that's going to be a precursor of what's going to be coming in our direction as an area of low pressure will develop here and then bring the showers over to us. Now, if you're taking the boat out for tomorrow, you can expect a northerly wind at 15 knots. Sea is just offshore, 2 to 4 feet, with a moderate chop in the bays and inland waterways, 62 at the beach, but increasing clouds through the afternoon as we go through our Saturday. So tonight, it's going to be chilly. Some areas, won't be surprised, inland could dip down to lower than this, maybe mid-40s some areas. Some areas close to the coast, low 50s, but still we're calling for 49 for our low here in Sarasota for the overnight. 63 for a high tomorrow. Mind you, our average for this time of year for a high is 71. So we're going to be chilly throughout this weekend. Rain comes in Saturday night into all day Sunday pretty much. And then finally by mid next week, well, we're going to have sunshine and get back to normal-like conditions. And Thursday and Friday of next week, even above normal, maybe into the mid-70s. So looking pretty good there.
Thank you, Josh. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. No accidents right now, but both the DeSoto and Green bridges in Manatee County are backed up at this hour.
A ride-sharing service similar to Uber will soon begin offering rides, but only for female passengers. The service, called Safer, will connect female riders with drivers in the Boston area beginning next week on an invite-only basis. Then later in March, it will become available to the rest of the public. The concept seems like a safer choice, but the company has been facing questions about whether it goes against anti-discrimination laws.
Another clothing store is closing up shop. The struggling teen retailer Wet Seal announced it is closing all of its stores and laying off its workers. In a letter to employees, company officials say they were not able to raise enough funds or find a buyer to stay open. The chain has 171 stores in 42 states. Times are tough for American retailers. American Apparel and Limited Stores recently notified employees they would lose their jobs in connection with bankruptcy filings. Sears and Macy's also announced mass closures this year.
The look of our malls is changing rapidly.
Changing,
Yeah.
yes.
Entertainment news is next.
Join us for Sarasota Opera's 2017 Winter Festival, opening February 11th. Featuring Puccini's most famous opera, Madame Butterfly, Rossini's delightful comedy, The Italian Girl in Algiers, Poulenc's heartbreaking Dialogues of the Carmelites, and the medieval thriller, The Love of Three Kings by Italo Montemezzi. Tickets are on sale now. Call 941-328-1300 or visit sarasotaopera.org.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair, where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500, starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
Peace of mind is really crucial. The safety and security of this higher level of care, I think, is really important. Great nurses, great doctors, technologies that can really help when you are dealing with complications, high-risk newborns, or the infants that have medical conditions. This is the kind of care that we want at our public hospital.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Gold fever is at an all-time high in the Sunshine State with the new Gold Rush Doubler family of scratch-off games. Everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. With over $1 billion in total cash prizes, the Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
We are going to build a great society where no man or woman are the victim of fear or poverty or hatred, where every man and woman has a chance for fulfillment and prosperity and hope.
Pearl Jam will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame by another rock legend.
Neil Young will do the honors this spring. Young and Pearl Jam joined forces back in 1993 to play Young's Rockin' in the Free World at MTV's Video Music Awards. And now Pearl Jam regularly covers the song on tour. Members of the band played on Young's 1995 album, Mirror Ball. The Hall of Fame induction ceremony will take place April 7th in New York.
Elton John has been tapped to write the songs for a devilish upcoming musical. John will supply the music for the stage adaptation of The Devil Wears Prada. The Devil Wears Prada began as a best-selling novel inspired by the author's own experiences working as an assistant for the Vogue magazine editor. It was later adapted into a hit film starring Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway. Elton John has composed several Broadway hits, including The Lion King and Ada.
3 new movies open in theaters this weekend. A Dog's Purpose was looking like the clear favorite until a video from the set went viral, showing a dog resisting jumping into turbulent water during filming. The producers say they stopped filming and the dog was not in danger, but analysts are not sure whether the controversy will stop pet lovers from seeing the doggy tale. Mila Jovovich battles the undead one more time in Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. The franchise is based on a popular video game series. And Matthew McConaughey stars in Gold, about the unlikely adventures of real-life 1980s prospector.
You can also watch a fun family movie under the stars at the Premier Sports Complex in Lakewood Ranch. Tonight, the complex will continue its Movies on the Green series. Families are invited to come out with chairs and blankets and watch Garfield the movie. The event runs from 6 o'clock until 9.
Don't forget the blankets.
Yeah.
Time is running out to see the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus here in Florida. The final show in Florida will be Sunday in Tampa at the Amalie Arena. Since Feld Entertainment announced the circus will end its 146-year run in May, the cast of Circus Extreme has been performing for packed houses.
It looks like such a good show.
Yeah.
It makes it even more sad to see it go when you see all of this in action. Just reminds you how much fun it is to go to the circus.
And that their ticket sale problem was solved when they announced
that they were ending,
yeah.
Right.
More news just ahead. Stay with us.
Start the year off with a great deal during the Start Something New event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers. Take home a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $18,999. Or stop by today and drive away in a brand new Jeep Renegade for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.